Well, it's the end of 2017, and you know what that means. It's time for us here at Ono Anime to talk about video games.
Woo!
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark.
I'm Patrick.
And this is a special bonus episode of Ono Anime, the podcast, or just Ono Anime. I don't really know how it's going to work.
We dropped that in like February.
Yeah. But yeah, today we're going to look back at the games that were in the year 2017, a year that by all accounts was awful, except
for video games.
Video games.
Video games did pretty good.
Probably one of the best years for video games in a very, very long time. A lot of people would probably say. I don't really know how this episode's going to go because we purposely kind of didn't really plan too much of it.
We just want to talk about video games for a bit.
We do want to talk about video games for a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the big stuff out of the way. And by big stuff, I mean the stuff that we both played. Because it is pretty boring for y'all and pretty boring for us to sit here and talk to each other about games that one of us hasn't played. But we'll get to that because we are, at the end of the day, very boring. No entertainment value really to be had here or anywhere else.
Anywhere. Why are you even listening?
Yeah. So, with that being said, let me transfer over here to my list of video games, which is quite long. Let me tell you, I played a lot of video games in 2017.
I played a lot for me.
Yeah. I always play a lot of video games, but this year was especially
I
busy.
think what happened was around March, so many came out at once that the rest of the time I was just playing mad catch-up.
Yeah. Well, and it also... This has probably been a busier year for pretty much everybody that's involved with the games industry and specifically people that cover it because Japan decided to step up their game this year and released a shitload of good games alongside of a shitload of good games from Western developers. So, it's been a hell of a year.
All around.
It's been a hell of a year. It's part of this weird cycle of 7 years for some reason that... a lot of good games come out in years with a 7 at the end of them. This year, 2007, 1997. I mean, it's kind of crazy how that works.
Something in the water.
You know, it's like how every other Star Trek movie is bad and every other one is good. It's just it's a natural...
One of those like laws of the universe that you really can't fight against.
Yeah, and we're not going to try. So why don't we start with a game that I know for sure is 2017's Game of the Year by every... imagination. That is Fate Extella, the Umbral Star. Everybody's favorite game and a game that undoubtedly everybody has heard of.
Yeah. So this is funny because me and you disagree fundamentally on this type of game.
On the Musou genre.
I love Musou games. I always have. I normally sink hundreds of hours into them. And for me, Extella was no different. It's kind of...
I should qualify first. If you don't know what a Musou game is, they're the Dynasty Warriors style.
It's basically like one person versus hundreds and thousands of enemies, and you're just broken, overpowered.
Yeah. This is a very long line of those style of games. Doesn't really break the mold in any way,
nope, but it's a Fate game. It's a Fate thing with Fate characters. And boy, are they Fate characters.
It sure is. It's a Fate game. It is a sequel, actually, to...
Is it Extra, I think?
Fate Extra. Yeah, which is
a PSP one,
pretty fucking popular thing in the Fate universe that I did not know that this was a sequel to. Because as soon as the game started, they start making references to events that happened that I have absolutely no...
For some reason, like, every mobile one, like, instead of the regular Holy Grail War, goes into, like, this weird, like... digital representation,
computer simulation.
Yeah,
I know why they do it. It's because it allows them to put whatever Fate characters they want in there, completely outside of lore, and it doesn't matter.
It's nice. It works.
Yeah. So this was my first experience with someone who is now one of my favorite Fate characters, and that is Nero Claudius. She is. Umu.
Just Umu.
I follow a Twitter account called Daily Umu that just posts the same image of her holding up a piece of paper that says Umu on it. It's
good.
Really wonderful.
You need those Umus in your life.
It's really great. It's basically the anime Twitter equivalent of that Facebook account that's just the same picture of Jeff Goldblum every day at the same time. Perfect. Or sorry, as we call him on the podcast, Goldblum J, as by his Japanese nickname. That's an inside joke. I know, and that's an inside joke that we're not going to explain, and we're just going to leave you all in the dark on. Yeah, like every other inside joke that we make on this podcast.
As a game, you know, like you said, it doesn't break any ground as a Musou game, but I love that mindless playing. It's something that I play all the time when I'm on the bus. It's not I just like playing it. I like beating people up, and doing it as Fate characters is that much better.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Musou games probably in the past 5 or so years is they have started to become less of like a vehicle for Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, and more of a way for game developers to make games for anime franchises that otherwise they would have never been able to do. And not just the anime franchises, like Nintendo has done several now with Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem. Is it just called Fire Emblem?
No, I think it's Legends.
No, it's not Legends.
Are you sure?
I want to say it's just Fire Emblem Warriors, but that could be a
Heroes,
different game.
maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The one on Switch.
Heroes is a mobile game.
Okay, so it's probably Fire Emblem.
This is going to bother me.
Something.
Doesn't
Search
matter.
Fire Emblem Switch, and then it'll tell you immediately.
I'm glad we're making everybody wait.
Fire Emblem Warriors. Yeah, so okay. Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors are two ones that Nintendo has I don't know if Nintendo directly made Fire Emblem Warriors, but they definitely did not make Hyrule Warriors. That was the difference.
That's the actual team.
But most of the ones over the past 5 years that have not been Dynasty Warriors games have been like anime games. Like there was, I'm going to count the Attack on Titan game, which is actually very good as a. I mean, it's definitely built on that engine
General
with the same
layout,
sort of mechanics, but there was 3D maneuver gear, which is something that you don't have in that game. And the Fate Extella, and there was an Arslan one, and there was a Berserk one. I mean, there's been one for fucking every anime big anime franchise.
I welcome this trend. Like I said, it's good mindless fun.
Yeah. So, but the reason I bring that up is the way that they have managed to do this and keep it somewhat interesting for the people that do like those games is they borrow like the one big hook from the franchise that they're making a Musou game from. And like in Fire Emblem Warriors, it's all about like map control and like control of units and stuff like that. And there's actually like some pretty significant like strategy involved, although it's taking place in real time as opposed to turn-based. In Fate Extella, the thing that they take is the visual novel aspect.
Yes,
of Fate.
they go really hard on that.
They go incredibly hard on it. So hard that it takes a long time to get to fight.
There's a lot of story in there. I'm air quoting for those of you who are listening instead of watching.
Yeah. But it's
fitting considering Fate is originally a visual novel.
Exactly. No, it is exactly the type of game it needs to be for a Fate Musou game. But it hooked me probably because it was on Switch and I could play it on the Switch.
I've only played that mobile. I don't think I've spent a single minute playing that at home.
You don't need to.
Yeah, no. But even
having played it on the TV, the frame rate is not the most solid thing. But
it was a cash grab, and I liked it honestly.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
You get to play as Lancer, which is really fun.
Yeah, I like Nero. I like a lot of the side characters that you get to play of. Like I really like that they had Kuhulain in there. That was cool. He's my favorite Lancer.
I just still refer to him as Lancer because to me he
is the Lancer. Yeah. But now that there's so many fucking Lancers, it's so hard to tell them apart. No. But I like that Lu Bu was in there. Mm-hmm. Our boy, Lu Bu.
Solid.
What's the guy's? Li Shuwen. He was fun to play. He was very fun to play as.
I didn't think I was going to like playing as him. But
I did not
playing
think...
as Nero was great too.
Yeah.
Did you get far enough to play as Altera?
Well, kind of. I still consider myself playing through that game, but I beat Nero's Arc.
Okay.
Which I'm like, I probably would have been fine stopping there, but I do want to continue playing the game.
Yeah, then you do Caster and then you do Altera eventually.
Well, that's the other fun part about that game is that the classes are a lot more like varied than Musou games usually offer.
The gameplay is very different from character to character.
Yeah. So much so that some characters are almost entirely unusable, which is a real bummer when I played Archer for the first time.
Yeah, that's entirely different.
Yeah. I just want to get to the point where I can play as Gilgamesh. That's all I really want.
Use those chains, bro.
I want to use the
the
Gate of Booty
Caster gameplay. Yeah, because the caster in this one is Tamama no Mai, the fox girl that everybody knows.
Yeah, that's the other fun thing about this Fate game is that they get to completely break the whole like no Eastern heroes rule in Fate, which is fantastic because you get a ton of like Romance of Three Kingdoms characters and you know, kung fu masters and all that type of bullshit.
It's good.
Yeah, that game was fun. I don't know if I'd recommend it to literally anyone because I know
it's good if you're a Fate fan.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know how bad Fate is. So
yeah, it just kind of comes with it. You have to acknowledge and embrace.
Yeah. Another game that we both played this year a significant amount, mostly on video, was Yakuza 0.
Yes.
Now
I haven't touched the story. I've only done the mini games.
Yeah, I actually played through that game, but even just experiencing the mini games together, that game was so fucking fun. Just the fact that they
it's solid.
Went so far out of their way to make like a fully fledged deep like shogi mini game and mahjong mini game, and like
it was
it truly is the pinnacle of Yakuza series bullshit.
Yeah, those mini games seem like super light and just like added fluff, but somebody online, Danica, she said I beat this game at 60 hours and I was 13% complete.
Yeah,
like, holy shit!
It is a fucking massive game. But beyond that, the story is legitimately one of the most compelling stories I've ever seen in a video game. It's incredible, so incredible that if that is indicative at all of the quality of storytelling in the Yakuza series as a whole, I cannot wait to start playing more of them because they are truly
glad they're coming out here.
Truly incredible. Yeah, I'm glad that we're finally getting to experience it because I mean, this game actually came out in 2015, which is crazy that it was only released here in 2017. But yeah, it's a hella amazing game. I love the whole like 1980s thing. I really love Kiryu and Majima are both like just the
best boys.
The best protagonists you could ever hope to have in a Japanese video game. It's just every single character that you run into in that game is so good in their own way that yeah, it's just like almost hard to describe.
The weird underwear porn guy.
No, he's the best. You mean Mr. You mean Mr. Libido?
Yeah,
he is truly the best character in that game. Next game, Horizon Zero Dawn. How far did you get in that game?
I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through the story. I'd spoil it for me. I watched a Let's Play while I was at work. I really love the game. The thing for me though is like I need to sit down and play it for hours and hours at a time. With my life, it's really hard to do that. Mechanically, it was one of my favorites, and it would have been my favorite if it wasn't for Breath of the Wild. Because that game is mechanically perfect.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I love the story. I love that it's a new IP with strong characters in a setting that I can really get into easily. And good God, was it pretty.
Yeah, easily the best looking game that came out this year.
Yeah, that 4K it's the future.
I'm very glad to see Guerrilla Games put a W on the board after having to make Killzone for almost 10 years.
Yeah, because Killzone was always like right there.
It was so close to being good at all times. Well, Killzone 2 is genuinely good. Every other Killzone game, so close, but so far.
Yeah, the story was great. I love the crazy-ass sci-fi world we got.
The fact that Kojima Productions is building Death Stranding on the same engine, it makes me super excited. Yeah. Even though that game I know will look completely different, just the way that engine handles itself. I mean, that game.
I don't think I ever frame dropped like once.
Never frame dropped, and I was playing it in 4K, like on the Pro. Never frame dropped. I never once experienced like any sort of like bug or anything. That game is just tighter than all hell, and I know it's because they've been working on it for so long, but
it showed.
Truly, you know. It shouldn't like be a point in a game's favor that it came out and it wasn't just like completely fucking broken. But
hey, thanks Bethesda.
Yeah, thank you Guerrilla for putting out like a basically technically flawless game. Yeah. And not only that, Ashley Birch, this is easily her best role for me. I know a lot of people would probably say Life is Strange, but I think this game gives her a lot more to work with in terms of being an actual protagonist that people like.
Yeah.
As much as I know a lot of people like Chloe.
A lot of emotions in this game.
This game, it just... I really like Aloy. I really like her personality. I really like how subtle the differences in the dialogue options are, because I actually ended up playing her in a way that I almost never play. I usually play like a straight, like very compassionate, loving character usually in video games.
I played her no bullshit.
In this one, yeah, I played her as like all intelligent responses, and it was actually super interesting because that's not like usually in video games that give you dialogue options, you have like a choice between idealism and pragmatism, and like it's really a choice between being a good person and being an asshole. But the like supposed middle dialogue response that they give you a lot of times in this game is like such a breath of fresh air, really, for dialogue in video games, because it's not really something that you're ever usually given. Is just like the highly analytical, not necessarily ethical or compassionate, but not necessarily not ethical or compassionate either. It's like somewhere in the middle. Very like it's the response of someone with an incredibly sharp mind, which is obviously who Aloy is, because she understands all this technology way better than everyone else. But also, it's just someone who's like calm and like talking to people is the absolute least of her concern, because she's literally like fucking battling a Thunderjaw that could crush her at any second.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so. That game is really fucking good. It was actually on, shockingly, I think it was Yoko Taro's #1 game of the year on his Giant Bomb list, which I'm still shocked.
I thought Animal Crossing was.
Oh no, you're right. It was #2. Sorry,
it was his real one.
I don't count that number.
You don't. Yeah, no. And it's so funny because him and a bunch of other developers had the same sentiment of, oh God, how do we deal with this coming out at the same time?
Yeah.
Which is a point that I wanted to bring up. I said earlier, March was insane. March brought us Nier, it brought us Horizon, and it brought us Persona.
Well, and also Zelda, right?
Yeah,
Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn,
which is funny because
day.
I know so many of my friends, myself included, like we all like split, and our gaming routes were different depending on what we played first in March.
Yeah, I didn't have a Switch in March, so I
I hit Breath of the Wild super hard, then went into Nier, and then finally got to Horizon.
Yeah, it's a game that I think if you played Breath of the Wild first is hard to come to late, because it is somewhat restrictive compared to Breath of the Wild. But then again, every open world game is restrictive compared to Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it is a truly open world in every sense of the word possible. So, but Horizon Zero Dawn, definitely one of my favorite games of the year.
Did you get around the DLC?
I did. I haven't finished it yet.
Is it good and like worth the price?
Yeah, it's honestly, if I bought the game now and played it, I wouldn't be able to tell where the DLC started and where the game ended. It's just more of what you like about that game. But the coolest part is it unlocks 2 new skill trees. It raises the level cap. It gives you a whole shitload new amount of weapons and armor sets, all Banuk themed and all that look amazing and like really cool. Also, the environments are like, you get a taste of like some very harsh snow environments, but like this shit is literally like pitch black at night in the middle of a forest, a la like, Force Awakens, where that lightsaber battle where you could see like 2 feet in front of your face because it's snowing so fucking hard. You don't have a light source. Like you literally have to like take out your fire arrows and use them to seek, and you're like wading through snow that's like waist deep, and also trying to fight.
And it's so fun because that just sounds annoying.
Oh no! It's like it's legitimately like turns into a fucking horror game, because then you're getting like stalked by a bunch of new monsters that you've never seen before. Like it's kind of fucked, because I know a lot of people like myself that were coming back to this game. Like I remember Justin McElroy posted a thing on Twitter that was just like, hey, anybody else completely forget every single piece about Horizon's mechanics?
That's my thing, where I said I need to sit down and play it for a while. Like I played it about when it came out, then I put it down for a few months, and I tried to pick it up, and I was like, fuck, I need to start all over. I don't remember what the buttons do.
The first thing that you do in the entire DLC after entering the like Banuk area is you fight basically a sawtooth that can shoot fire. So it's
if you don't remember how to play.
It has a learning curve if you haven't played it in like almost a year. That's
not to say that the controls are unintuitive. It's just there's a lot of things you can do.
There's a lot of things that you have to remember, and if there's no tutorial with the DLC, because it's literally meant to like just be another area in the game.
Yeah.
So it is very much its own like self-contained area, so that if you're playing it like me after you've beat the main quest, it definitely like you rarely have to leave the area to finish quests. But the cool thing is that you actually do have to leave that area and like go out into the wilds.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's it's a great addition to the game. I am excited to finish it. I just don't know when.
How much was it? Was it like $20 or
like $15 or something like that?
That's not bad at all.
Super reasonable. Yeah, I mean worth any amount of money that you want to throw at it because that game is great. Speaking of great games, might as well get out of the way now because I'm literally just going down the list. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Holy shit. I don't like to call things perfect, but I don't have a single complaint about this game.
Yeah. I still have not beat it, but then again, I know probably more people that have been playing it since release that still haven't beat it than... from what I gather, beating it is the least important part of that game.
I mean, I technically beat it. I did all the giant beast things, and I beat Ganon, but there's so much more. You just explore.
The size of that game...
Find new ways to kill things and solve puzzles.
The size of that game boggles the mind. Like, the fact that you can literally go fucking anywhere.
Yeah, the sense of adventure is the realest I've ever felt in any video game. Like, you just fucking go.
It's so hard to like have a singular purpose playing that game too, because you go somewhere and then you immediately are like, oh, there's a shrine over there. Oh, there's a new boss that I can beat. Oh, there's treasure. There's blah blah blah.
Ooh,
like
I want
all
to take
this
pictures
shit
of everything.
Yeah, like I just want to fucking like shield sled down this hill.
Oh, there's a giant mountain. Let's see if I can get on top.
And now there's a motorcycle in it.
I have not touched it.
I haven't touched it either, but I'm really excited to ride a motorcycle around awesome. Hyrule. It looks so fucking
And now
stupid.
that we have a good emulator, you can instead Naruto run through Hyrule.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Somebody did
that? It actually looked fun.
Cannot believe that they have already gotten it running like over 60 FPS at like higher resolution than nuts. What the Switch has. It's crazy.
That was another thing. That game was super well optimized. I only played it on Switch. I didn't touch it on Wii U, so I have no idea there. But it looks and
the
feels
Wii U
great.
version was a little rougher, but it's still definitely playable. The only parts of that game where it does chug are in like Kakariko Village. Definitely has some frame rate issues, but
I played it more handheld than I did on the TV. From my understanding,
if you're playing a game like that on a console like the Switch and not expecting some frame rate issues, then you're being unrealistic, buddy. Because that game looks fucking unbelievable for what they managed to like render.
The style is so unique and fun too.
Yeah, the music is really incredible. Like, it is very like you could definitely see that the developers had like all definitely seen a lot of Ghibli movies and wanted to make a game like that.
Oh yeah.
and probably like were like, oh no, someone's already made Ni no Kuni. Well, let's just make it a Zelda game. And make it 50 times better than every other video game ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when Skyrim first came out, someone's like, this is like not only just a good video game, it's like something that we should be proud of as a species. And I feel the same way about
this game,
about Breath of the
10
Wild.
times over.
It is an achievement
of
both art and creativity and
creativity is where the game gets me. Like my favorite thing is how many times while I was playing the game I said, I wonder if I can do this. Nah, there's no way. They wouldn't think that. Shit.
You can do it.
I can do it.
You can do it.
Every fucking time.
It's incredible how much you can do.
I never stumped the game once.
And it's incredible how much of it is intuitive in a way that video games rarely are, in the sense where, like, if you've been playing video games as long as either one of us have, which is basically all our lives, you learn very quickly where the walls usually are. Yeah. Never once in a video game have I felt so welcome to approach that world as if I would the real world.
Yeah. I got into an argument with a friend over this because he was playing it and he's like, I don't get what's so great. I have no idea what I'm doing. Where's the tutorial? And he was trying to
you're not supposed to know.
Yeah. He was trying to to get the last temple on the tutorial where it's cold and the game tells you, well, be warm. And I was like, have you tried anything? He's like, no, I don't know how to get warm. And I was like, how about fire? And he's like, you're telling me you just like carry a torch up the mountain? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, oh shit, that worked.
Yeah.
But he was not as happy about that, and frankly I welcome it. I like that I had to think outside the box.
It's something that in lesser games would be frustrating, but in Breath of the Wild is just
it sets the tone
so
for the whole
incredible game. Like I remember the first time that I ran into an apple tree and there was an apple that was too high for me to get, so I just without thinking took out my bow and arrow and shot the arrow out of the tree, and then went and had to chase a fucking arrow with an apple on the end down the fucking hill. But I was
it.
just like, and then I immediately was just like, holy shit, I just did that without thinking because it was what I would be able to do in the real world, and I did it.
There was that article that broke today about Miyamoto talking about hiring practices for Nintendo. Did you see that?
I did not know.
And basically they said they purposefully look for people that don't play video games because the mindset of somebody that grew up playing video games is so entirely different. And that's how they're able to make interesting games like that. Because if you play video games, you don't think of these interactions because you don't do them in video games. If you don't play video games, you probably sit there and go, well, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
So the people that play video games are just like, oh, you should be able to. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So really cool hiring practice.
Yeah, I think like 2017 Nintendo is definitely
They're so good.
They're very good. It's definitely one of Nintendo's best years. But I think they're kind of defined by interaction of mechanics. The interaction of the mechanics in their mainline games this year is truly incredible. Like I don't know how they do it because it's such an intricate and multiplicitous combination of possibilities that they all have to account for. And not only that, to then put it all in a video game and make it work to the point where you don't see the any rough edges. The seams
it's all fluid.
It's just incredible. Works. Like it is, I talk a lot of shit about Nintendo because they are an incredibly conservative and backwards company in a lot of ways.
They do a lot of dumb things, but when it comes to actually making a video game.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's easy to be really, for someone like me, who's not necessarily a Nintendo fanboy, truly, this is the first Zelda game that I have ever played and actually enjoyed. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me about that, but Zelda games have just never, I completely understand why people like them. I understand their beauty. I've just never really been a Zelda person, as you will understand why when we get to talk about Mario later. But, yeah, I've just never really been too much of a Zelda person, but this game has added to what to me has finally been allowed me to finally get into the lore of Zelda, because everybody knows, everybody who's a gamer, regardless of whether or not you like Zelda, it's amazing how much you already know about a Zelda game without ever really having played one and all the way through or whatever. I've played almost every Zelda in the past 10 years, but never finished one because I keep trying. But this is the one game. But seeing just seeing the changes that they made to kind of give it an updated presentation, especially the voice acting, was such a welcome addition to me.
I was so lukewarm on that when they announced it, when they showed it. And man, it was so good. It's
so good in Japanese. Oh my God. Everybody in that game does such a fucking good job.
It was pretty incredible.
It's
the whole story presentation got a massive upgrade from all the other ones. Not that I disliked the story in previous ones, but they really don't hold a candle to Breath of the Wild.
Well, this is the first Zelda game where I truly feel like they have a sense of the importance of Zelda's universe and story. Mostly because, the entire story is basically built around this, the past and the importance of the past. So I think that's a good tie to, a lot of the younger people working on this game that obviously grew up playing Zelda and have a massive sense of importance to its story. But, obviously story is such a small piece of that game, but it's a really important piece of every Zelda game, and especially this one because it is actually presented in a modern way. Good. Yeah, and it's very emotional in a way that I'm really drawn to. I really liked, I hate flashback sequences, but I really liked all the flashbacks in that game. Really,
they're done really so well done. Too. I love all the photography ones.
Yeah,
those
were
really especially cool. Poignant.
Yeah. So yeah, Breath of the Wild is easily a fucking remarkable achievement. A truly.
Well, I opened this part with I hate to call things perfect, but if there's a perfect video game,
it's about as perfect as
Breath of the Wild.
If it didn't have frame rate hitches while playing on a TV, it would basically be perfect. That's the only problem that I have. Anyway, at risk of talking too much about that, let's move on to something else that we're going to talk too much about, and that is Nier Automata.
So I'm gonna just say straight up, as much love as I just gave Breath of the Wild, I consider now, after playing Nier Automata, my favorite video game.
Period.
Like, no superlatives, nothing. It's just my favorite video game. I have never been anywhere near as affected emotionally by a video game as Nier. Like, not even fucking close.
It's crazy. I've rarely seen a game as divisive in a way that, like, the second half of this year, I have basically adopted like this this sort of motto that I keep saying to people, just like the only people that are more annoying than the people that won't shut up about how good Nier is are the people that won't shut up about how bad Nier is.
It's very divisive.
It is an
to all the haters, I
game.
say fuck you.
Yeah, all you haters suck my balls. That's what I'm gonna say. Because Nier is a very good game. It is a game. It is an incredibly 2017, incredibly big mood game.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I guess we can talk about the mechanics to begin with. It's not a bad game.
In a year that arguably has been defined by very many optimistic and positive outlook gaming experiences, Nier was edgy as fuck and somehow managed to still be good.
I wish I could remember who said it, but the best explanation of Nier I'd seen was on Twitter, where it said Nier is an open world RPG where the reward for every side quest is more sadness.
Yep.
Just like, yep. Yeah, that about does it. But it's so funny because the entire game beats you down except for the final last note.
Yeah. Well, and also, you can buy every single trophy in that game.
I forgot about that.
You can literally buy the platinum trophy.
Yeah, I forgot.
And if you're part of that weird pilot program where Sony pays you to get platinum trophies, you literally can pay in-game currency for $1. You can reverse loot box in Nier.
I forgot
unintentionally.
About that. I didn't do that. I did wind up going back and 100%ing the game. If anybody has played it, you realize how crazy of a feat that is, considering the ending. But I did it.
It is such a weird game because to me, I could not sell someone on this game. Like, I would be the absolute worst.
It's an incredibly
person.
personal thing.
Yeah, because like I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game, but the playing part is probably the least interesting and least fun part. No, I agree with you.
Like the game mechanically, it's not bad. I mean, it's an action hack and slash by Platinum. Like it's not bad by any means, but it's also not amazing.
It is the easiest Platinum game I've ever played by they make a crazy
on purpose.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that to rag on it because I was actually warmer on the gameplay of that game than most people. I just genuinely like just killing a lot of shit.
Yeah, I love the
sword.
dodge mechanics. It feels good to just do it.
It's just it's a platinum game, but not in like the crazy bombastic way that they usually make games, just in like a very beautiful, precise type of way. Mm-hmm. It is the perfect middle ground between Platinum and Square Enix. Like it has
that's a good way to put it.
It's just grounded enough to feel like a Square Enix game, and it's just like beautiful and intricate enough to feel like a Platinum game.
Yeah, I just wish like when you're on the harder difficulties, obviously it's always one shot kill on the hardest one.
Yeah,
but the game gets so much easier with the chips. Like it trivializes so much.
Once you get like 6 good chips, you never have to change them out at the end. Like after you put them in, and you're basically set for the rest of the game.
Which is a bummer, but the point of the game was not playing the game.
Yeah, although I will say 9S's hacking mechanic is maybe one of the funnest things I've ever done.
It's so good. And I love that every song in the game has an 8-bit version because of it.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked playing 9S a lot more than a lot of people that I saw.
I definitely prefer 2E to 9S, but I did not hate it.
I think it's because 9S allowed me to just fucking completely blow through a bunch of hard bosses that I was completely outmatched by because I got so good at the hacking minigame that I just didn't even need to fucking bother anymore. But I really like that hacking minigame a lot. It's really fucking fun. But
solid. The way it tied into everything, especially the end credit scroll, was really nice.
It's just it's like crazy that a game like this was ever made.
The fact that Yoko Taro was allowed to do it is kind of nuts.
Because then
it did well. The game did really well.
Against basically everyone that made its expectations.
I mean, I was excited from the beginning because I love like bullet hell games, and the first video I saw was the Opera Boss.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is so much my shit. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I think I had just finished beating Fury at the time too, that like boss rush game.
Yeah.
And the mechanics are pretty damn similar to Fury. But so I knew I would like it from that, and just the story that I got was not what I was expecting. I hadn't played the original Nier. And all the like crazy literary references with the opera singer being Simone and Jean Paul and all that, and then, you know, Pascal, of course.
Yeah.
That's just like it. I struggle to talk about it because there's so much there. I think the only thing I spent more time on with Nier than the game itself and replaying to get 100% is reading other people's thoughts on Nier.
Yeah.
You can go as deep into that game as you want, and there is always more shit to uncover.
Yeah. I don't really know what else to say about it, man. It's just it's a crazy game from start to finish. It's a hell of a ride. That if you play through 2B's part and then are just expecting the game to end, is
you got a lot more than you bargained for.
Yeah, it's crazy how much more that game has to it than just 2B.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's a damn interesting thing. And the fact that it was even made is
still to
out of this world.
massive spoilers for the end here. If you guys haven't done it, I don't want to spoil it because it's legitimately my favorite thing I've ever seen done in a video game.
If y'all are watching literally any of your videos not expecting spoilers at this point, I've got bad news for you.
But the first time I beat the game, I was probably I think I was only like 65% completion, because at that point, like doing the last run, I was just like, I need to know what happens. And when you're going through the credits and you get to the point where you can't win, I'm trying really hard not to start crying remembering it, but you get to the point where you can't win, and it says, hey, these people want to help you, and it's other people who have beat the game. You're just like, oh fuck yeah, this is so cool. And like the background chorus like starts up and starts singing with all the voices instead of just the singer, which by the way was the staff of the game. They didn't hire singers for it. It's just a staff sing with it. Just another like dagger in the heart. But then it does that and you beat it. And it's just like, congratulations. You know those people that helped you? They had to give up their entire game file to do it. Will you do the same? And I was just like, oh fuck. And for me, I was like, I really want 100% this, but I can't not do it. Like it would have defeated the purpose of the whole game to not do it. So I did, and it's just like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, don't make me say this again. And it just asks, I think it's 5 times it asks, and then it does. It doesn't just delete your game file. It goes through, and it goes through the status of everything. All of your items, you see them deleted one by one from your inventory. All the time, you see it get subtracted down to 0, and then you go, and it's gone. Fresh slate.
Yep.
Which is like, motherfucker.
It took
me a month to pick it back up again, but I'm glad I did and went back and 100%ed it, because that game was amazing.
It's a part of a weird subset of like fourth wall breaking stuff in video games. It's usually reserved to like stuff that Kojima makes, and that one Silent Hill game. Like, it's a game that has resulted in, I think, the thing that Yoko Taro thought would happen least, in him becoming kind of hot shit now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely a respected director before.
Great, because now everybody gets to read his interviews and be like, this guy.
Yeah.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's certainly
even more ironic because he wears a weird like Emil head because he doesn't want people like knowing who he is.
Yeah,
because he's just like, it's not about that. It's it's a whole team thing. And it's just like, shut up, dude.
Yeah,
this was mostly you, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing experience. I would definitely suggest everybody go check it out for sure. Definitely one of my
something special,
my favorites this year. Another game that we both played, Destiny 2.
Yeah, I played it.
I played it too.
I beat it.
Same.
I tried doing a raid once and the group sucked, and I was just like, I don't really care enough to try again.
That raid looked not fun too.
I mean, I enjoyed raiding, and I raided a lot in the first Destiny. The gameplay is fantastic. It's one of the best feeling shooters out there, no doubt.
True.
But they keep on trying to edge into the MMO space, and they do it badly. I don't understand why they refuse to learn lessons from games that have tried to do these things before, because you aren't going to do it better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they certainly did learn a lot of lessons from Destiny 1. I feel like they fixed a lot of the stuff that made that game pretty mediocre. specifically the amount of actual story that is in that game.
That was nice.
It was nice to see more of that. But yeah, I just, I found myself, I said I would, be doing the Nightfall strikes and all that shit every week with my friends and playing the Crucible and all that. And I got to the end of it, and I think I played like one Nightfall with some people that I knew, and that was about it. Because then I was just like, there was literally nothing but like doing, like at the end of the game, there's literally nothing to do but either do shit with people, which is very hard for me to organize. Because everyone that I know lives in different time zones and has different schedules that plays that game, at least. Or just do shit that makes numbers go up.
Yeah, it was.
And trust me, I like making numbers go up, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah, so. It was a lot of public event grinding, which I didn't mind because I'm playing on PC and I had another monitor to watch stuff. Actually, watch Kuroko no Basuke of all things while doing that. But yeah, it worked. I didn't hate it. I don't mind grinding. MMOs one of my favorite genres. It didn't make it worth it.
I've spent probably the past 3 weeks doing something I do pretty much every year now, which is replaying all of the Halo games. Except for Halo 1, because that thing is I just can't play it anymore. It's so dated.
Yeah.
And such a slog at points. Like as soon as I hit the library, I'm fucking out. Yep.
I knew it. Fuck the library.
But from Halo 2 on, especially now that you can literally play every single Halo game in existence in some form on the same console on the Xbox One, thank God. Praise Microsoft for that, at least.
Is that multiplayer working yet?
I don't give a shit.
Like, did they ever get the Master Chief Collection multiplayer working?
I have and I don't know. I'm not going to comment on it because I legitimately don't know. I don't think I've ever once played more than a couple multiplayer matches on that thing. But you know what? I got my money's worth out because I am now able to play every single Halo campaign that I want to play in 1080p 60. But I literally just beat Halo 5 again earlier today, and I will say, and this is not me shitting on 343 because I mostly appreciate what they have admirably done with that franchise, but man, I miss Halo. Yeah. Destiny especially makes me really miss Halo.
It's right there.
Like playing Halo 5 last year and again this year. That game plays so fucking well. It is easily one of the snappiest, coolest shooters to play. Every moment feels cinematic, and yet I don't want anything more than to play a Bungie-made Halo game in 2017. I just want to see what that would look like, and in some alternate universe, it's happening.
You know what made me miss it like even more, even with Destiny? Did you see that a few days ago? Finally, the entirety of Music of the Spheres leaked.
Shit,
if you haven't sat down for the 50 minutes to give that a whole like full listen, you owe it to yourself and more importantly Marty McDonald to do it, because that I can see why he left if they didn't want to release that. That was a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, what the hell is he doing now?
Marty?
Yeah,
he's sitting on his money. He won a settlement.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's making music somewhere.
I wish I could play something with his music in it again. I mean, I'm sure he's doing something, but
it's
and again, that's not me shitting on that's not me shitting on the new Halo music, because Halo 5 was scored by fucking Kazuma Janucci, who did Metal Gear Solid 4. So it is a really good score. It's not Marty, but it's Marty. But it's but that's the game is basically not Halo anymore. Like it's something else, and I'm fine with that.
The music of the Sphere is what upsets me more listening to it. Is the way it's set out. Like you can get an idea for what the original Destiny story was going to be just through the music, and you realize how much they cut. And I just want to play a game set to this music really badly.
Paul McCartney worked on that game.
Paul fucking McCartney.
Paul McCartney made music for Destiny originally. So, that score wasn't very well implemented either in the first Destiny. And the second Destiny, I don't remember a single moment where music ever played a role. So, I just miss I miss Bungie making Halo games. Never thought I would, but I do. Anyway, let's move on to something much more optimistic, and that is Super Mario Odyssey.
optimism in a fucking game right there.
This got really close to being my game of the year for 2017.
Yeah, I can't fault anybody that throws that on top of Breath of the Wild.
Well, I probably would.
yeah, it's
Breath of the Wild is it's much more of an achievement, but I think being much more of a Mario fan than a Zelda fan most of my life, especially basically being raised on 3D Mario, I cannot tell you how happy playing Super Mario Odyssey made me.
It was a whole lot of feelings.
I did not think a Mario game would make me cry ever, but
that fucking New Donk City
have
scene.
not cried harder than the ending of the New Donk City thing, just out of sheer joy and nostalgia and happiness. It truly is.
Yeah, it tied the whole thing together. I would have been happy if the game ended there and then it kept on going and going and giving and giving.
Yeah, and yeah, that game is like you finish the game and then you realize there is literally like 50% more game to do.
Yeah, I need to go back and do the rest of that.
It's crazy because apparently once you get enough moons, there is just a completely new area to unlock, and it's like the Dark Souls of Mario. Apparently, it's like so fucking hard. It's like
I'm about to fucking walk out because you said that.
It's a deconstruction of Mario, really, is what it is. But yeah, no. Mario Odyssey is just...
It's a joy. Like, it's a fucking pleasure to play that game.
It is a 3D Mario game made on exactly the type of hardware that they should be making all Nintendo games on now, which is the Switch. And it's made by people who have a whole lot of love for all the previous 3D Mario games, but especially Mario 64. And granted, there's a lot of nods to like 8-bit Mario in there. Like there are literally parts of levels where you turn into 8-bit Mario and scroll along.
Brilliant.
It's an amazing mechanic. It's probably one of my favorite mechanics of all this year. But yeah, just the parts in that game that nod back to Mario 64, including massive spoilers for the endings. The fact that the game ends and then you wake up in the fucking Mushroom Kingdom and you run into the castle and the same music from Mario 64 is playing. And then if you want to replay any boss battles, you literally jump into the paintings and it makes all the same sounds, including their bop, 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 bop. Like literally it is the hardest I've been hit by just pure unbridled nostalgia.
I had to set the controller down for a second when I did that. I was just like, oh, no.
I was completely blindsided by it. I had no idea that it was going to happen. And I was just like, this shit is insane. And the best part of that entire game over everything else is you get to the Mushroom Kingdom and there's a Toad and he's just like, hey, Yoshi's around here somewhere, here's his snacks. And then you're like, oh fuck, Yoshi's here. And then you go and you find Yoshi and he's being a fucking idiot on top of the castle as always.
Yep.
And you jump on top of him and you bounce off and you're like, wait, what is it? What's happening? And you jump off on him a couple times more and then you bounce off and you're like, oh wait, I have Cappy. And then you throw Cappy at Yoshi, and then you are Yoshi with a mustache. And then you can fucking do the run jump and make all the noises and eat the acorns and oh my god. It's the best game. It's the best game ever made. I love it so much. I can't even. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's it's just like pure 5-year-old joy. Like
it is exactly the game that I needed in 2017, especially in the like back half of 2017 where literally it felt like the world was ending and then that game came out and I was just like, things are okay. I think things will work out. Like yeah, the more I played through that game, the more I had like a feeling of like we're gonna get through this. If Mario can make me this happy, then there is still joy yet left in the world for people to have. And not to mention that it is easily the best looking Switch game. It is incredibly beautiful.
It's got a great look.
The aesthetic is very good. I did hear a theory the other day, which is my favorite Mario theory about the new game, which is that the business that you buy the hats from with the purple coins is a Wario and Waluigi business because its colors are yellow and purple.
Yeah, purple.
And you can also buy their costumes from them at the end of the game. And now I really want that to be true.
I want a whole version of that game where you're playing Wario or Waluigi.
Yeah, like, well,
Give me that DLC.
I am wearing the Wario costume right now in my save. I was wearing the fucking samurai. I was wearing Mario Deguzaru for a long time.
God. I'm gonna run around with a cowboy hat most of the game.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say that the level design in this game, I don't think has ever been better in a Mario game.
You get rewarded for every little thing.
Well, not only that, but just like the actual like themes and designs of the levels. Like when I get to Bowser's Kingdom, again, I had to like literally set down the controller, which was like, am I literally about to play like a full on fucking feudal Japan samurai level in Mario? And I was.
Yeah, that was it.
I was. Not to mention like the amazing music in the Forest Kingdom, that like weird surf rock shit. New Donk City is the best Mario stage of all time, like hands down.
It was so
not even
weird, and it worked so well.
It's so weird. The fact that Pauline is the fact that fucking Pauline is there, first of all, is amazing because she is the best. She will always be better than Peach. Sorry, Peach, but she is the best.
It's the OG.
She will always be my one-up girl, and I will be her one-up boy. It's literally like fighting tears every time I fucking hear that song.
It's so good.
It's like one of those things where like I played it the first time, and I was literally just like bawling like a baby because I was just like, this is so good. Oh, God. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I could probably listen to that song again and not cry every single time I've heard it. Even in like a commercial, I fucking lose my shit. It's so good.
That's me with like half the songs in Nier. Like I can't deal with them because they just trigger the memories.
But instead of triggering bad memories, this is the happiest memories available.
Happiest you've ever been.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see. Like Nintendo is really weird in how they cash in on nostalgia. They don't necessarily cash in on nostalgia by directly referencing it. They more so just cash in on nostalgia by only releasing games from like one of 3 franchises every year. But
if it ain't broke.
In this case, they legitimately made a game that is an homage to several other Mario games and is very much its own thing. Don't get me wrong. Like the whole Cappy mechanic is the coolest shit ever and I love it, but it very much so in a lot of areas is an homage to it is the culmination of every 3D Mario thing that has come before it in a big way, except for probably Sunshine.
Sunshine was weird. Sunshine was really good though. Don't get me wrong.
I love Sunshine.
The mechanics were.
Most people don't, but I love Sunshine. But this is, I mean, yeah, it is very much a product of Mario 64. Very much is a product of Mario Galaxy. And is very much its own thing, and I'm really happy for it because it's just it's a hell of a game.
I should play Galaxy sometime.
Galaxy's really good. I'm hoping that we get some form of it on the Switch, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, it'll get there. But then again, I didn't think that they could ever make a new Bayonetta game and release the other 2 on the Switch, and I cannot wait to play all 3 of them.
I'm going to play all 3 of them again, or I'm going to play the first 2 again. That's what got me to buy a Wii U in the first place. I was in, sorry, a little aside, I was in New York, and I was just like, well, I need to go to the Nintendo store. And the Wii U had been out for maybe 6 months at the time, and they had a kiosk where you could play Bayonetta. I played that for like maybe 5 minutes, and I turned around and bought the game, and I ordered a Wii U from my phone.
Yeah.
Which is like, I need this really badly.
Yeah.
Solid.
All right. So that is the end of the list of games that we've both played. I have a couple shout outs real quick that I'll just rush through. Speaking of Rush, Gravity Rush 2. Gravity Rush 2 is a game that I doubt a whole lot of people that are watching this played. Because the first game was on Vita and was only recently released on PS4. However, that series is unabashedly one of my favorite series of all time. It hit me in all the best ways when it originally came out on Vita, and Gravity Rush 2 is just more of that, but way prettier. The world is way bigger, and the mechanics are way more expanded, and it just goes some really dope places, and Raven is the ultimate wife, and that's all I want to say.
Not even a waifu, just wife.
No, she's a wife. I'm done saying waifu. I'm not 12. I am saying wife.
Say ore no yome.
Yeah. For Honor was bad, but I played it. Mass Effect Andromeda was bad, but I played it. Injustice 2 was cool. Dirt 4 was a good driving game. I like that. I doubt very many people in the driving community knew it came out. Sonic Mania is the best thing to happen to Sonic since Sonic and Knuckles came out. It's better than Adventure. It's better than any 3D Sonic game, period.
Did you play the like anniversary one that came out a couple years back?
Sonic 4?
No, it was named like Sonic Legend or like Sonic Anniversary or something dumb. It was really solid until last stage.
Well,
there was one that came out a couple years ago that was really
barring
good.
Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, it is the best 3D Sonic game. It is the best Sonic game that's not that it is better than every 3D Sonic.
But you can't make your own character in this one.
I don't need to talk about that. But yeah, Sonic Mania is that was one of the songs from this soundtrack in the opening. Easily my favorite game soundtrack of this year. It is fucking nuts.
Sonic with good music, who'da thunk?
Yeah. I mean, as much as we all love Gotta Go Fast.
As much as we all love rolling around.
Some good old fashioned, like one step above 16-bit, like 90s acid house in the background while I'm playing my fucking weird 2D Sonic in 2017 is what I want to hear. Everybody's Golf, or in Japan, Minna no Golfu. Fantastic game. I totally
Hot Shots, right?
I totally did not know that it was like the 16th Hot Shots game because only one of them has ever come out here. But Everybody's Golf is a great arcade golf game. If you're missing Pena, go buy some Everybody's Golf.
I had something to say about that.
I know you do, but Everybody's Golf is the slightly more classy spiritual successor to Pena, except that Pena is probably just a knockoff of Mina no Golf anyway. But
it was
it's
its own thing now.
Yeah. Speaking of Golf Story is a really great indie game that I played this year. It's like in a 16-bit top-down style. It's on the Switch. It's really good. It's an open world golf RPG. Which
I was sold at golf. How have I not heard of this? I love golf video games.
It's an interesting game. It's very meandering. It's not great, but it is good.
Okay.
Gran Turismo Sport, bad. And this is coming from the biggest Gran Turismo fan ever. It's my favorite driving franchise, but Gran Turismo Sport was a bad thing. I played a lot of Public G this year.
Is that related to the fashion line Straight G?
No. You mean Strict G?
Strict G. My apologies.
Strict G, Gundam's proprietary fashion line. No, it is not. Unfortunately, it should be. Public G and Strict G should be two sides of the same coin, but PUBG is good. It's a good game. I
enjoyed watching streams.
Probably the most important game that came out this year other than Breath of the Wild.
It changed a lot.
It has literally changed the gaming landscape.
A game that will become a genre itself.
Genre unto itself, yes. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus felt incredibly good because I was able to kill a lot of Nazis.
Yeah,
and that feels
could use that.
Good, real good doing that in 2017, and that's completely underselling that game. It was easily the best shooter that came out this year in terms of story and in terms of everything else. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is good. If you like Uncharted, it's more of that, but with two ladies that you get to play as, which is way cooler than Nathan Drake ever will be. And finally, Cuphead. I don't think I need to say too much about that.
Yeah, people have talked about that a lot.
Hard as shit, but it is easily the coolest looking game to come out this year.
Easy.
It is a hell of an achievement, and I'm really happy those two guys that made it are now like multi-millionaires because they literally threw everything they owned and had into this fucking game, and I'm glad they got paid off for it. So
yeah.
All right, make your shout outs and then I'm gonna do my top 5.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot that you didn't, but one thing that I wanted to bring up was this was a big game a big year for mobile games for Japan, and I think a lot of them are going to come out over here. Of course, Fate Grand Order came out this summer in the States and blew up. Like, it's doing really ridiculously well here, which is awesome. I love to see.
Indeed.
I personally don't play it because the sight of a black key in the gacha makes me physically ill. I can't do it anymore. No, it's doing really well here, which is great. We have a new Madoka Magica game that's really, really good.
I forgot about that.
And I've been keeping up with in Japanese. The gacha in that also makes me sick, but they regularly update it with new story. It's a really good story, and I'm sure we are going to see and hear a lot more about that side of Mitake Gahara coming soon in English. That's an Aniplex phone game, so it will wind up in English. And the latest big one is Azure Lane. Kantai Collection is old and lame now, and Azure Lane is the new hotness. It's a new Ship Girl game. It's Chinese, actually, but the Japanese version came out a few months ago, and it is on fire. I've been playing that for the last few months, and I fucking love it.
Chinese mobile game developers have a really good streak of releasing games timely in the U.S. So
I'm really hoping
pulling for this one to come out in the U.S.
I play that game a lot. Since I started playing it, I've sunk like a solid hour or two into it a day easily, and I don't feel like it's forcing me to buy stuff. Like most of the things you buy are cosmetic. The grinding feels really good. It's not annoying. The gameplay itself is actually solid. It's a good gameplay loop.
Most importantly, the designs are amazing.
Yeah, the ship designs are so much more interesting than Kantai Collection.
It's everything that's good about Kantai Collection and a million things that are better than Kantai Collection.
It does it. It's what Kantai Collection would be good if they decided to innovate at all instead of just being the same thing they've been since 2011.
Yeah.
So that's really solid. As far as regular video games, you pretty much hit all the big ones. I did play Persona 5. I need to play more of it.
Yeah, that's the big Japanese release that I kind of left out.
I'm only a few hours into it, and I fully intend to beat it at some point, but it's just been so video game heavy. I played the Little Witch Academia game. I've played most of that on stream. If not on YouTube, then I've been playing it on Twitch. I did actually beat it, and it's not a great game, but I do love Little Witch Academia, and
it's a
serviceable dungeon runner. It's not awful. There's some surprising.
Good on them for trying to do something different with an anime game, though.
It's just the mechanics to progress the story are annoying with the time and everything, because there's so often I just find myself waiting, doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm actually now 50 hours into it.
Shit, yeah. I guess that is another game that we both played that we totally left off this list.
You didn't get very far, did you?
I don't really have a whole lot to say about that game.
It's getting better, like every Xenoblade or Xeno anything game. The beginning is pretty interesting, and you'll probably like the characters, but as you get farther, it gets so much better.
That game has some good characters.
And now that I've unraveled how the mechanics work with the combos, it feels really good. I've got the blades set up for everybody. I know how the combos work with the elements. I know how to blow them up with the burst mode. It's a game where 50 hours in, I'm still getting new tutorials, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But it's not detracting from anything, honestly. I'm really enjoying it. And the story has really fucking taken off, and I love all the characters.
Cool.
Even if for some reason all the main characters have a Scottish accent.
That's really weird. I'm playing in Japanese, so I wouldn't know, but yeah.
I thought about switching to Japanese, but I just couldn't do it because every time there's a cutscene and I hear one of the characters, especially Nia, an angry Scottish cat girl. Holy shit, it's great. I'm really enjoying it, and just like the previous Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm going to wind up sinking 100 hours in. It's going to happen.
Well,
that's good.
I'm going to start playing us out, and as I do, I will give you guys my top 5 list, starting with number 5, Gravity Rush 2. Number 4 is Sonic Mania. Number 3, Nier Automata. Number 2, Super Mario Odyssey. And number 1, it could not be any other game, it is Yakuza 0. I love that game a lot. I love those good boys.
Yeah.
I also love those bad boys.
I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14, by the way, just so y'all know. It's not dead.
There is that.
A 2017,
a 2017 ass game.
Overwatch is still really good too.
Yep.
Don't forget.
You got anything else?
That's really it. I've played a lot of Overwatch.
All the links to everything we do are down in the description of this video, and they're in the description on our
people do. They
podcast. They say, they do that in
down
YouTube
there.
Videos. That's a YouTube trope. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We got a whole lot more year-end content that you should go check out on our YouTube page and website. onoanime.moe is the place to be. And I think that's it. So we'll see you later.
Cut the video. I'm about to start crying. Quickly,
Goodbye.
Go.